Hey, weirdos! On tonight's show...
Whoa,
epic.
epic.
How did that go?
On tonight's show, we got Oumuamua.
A growing time capsule.
And liquid sunshine? What's that about?
I don't know. Coming up right now on What the Fetch Weekly.
Guys, welcome to What the Fetch Weekly, the only weird internet news show that is still feeling the effects of Burger King's Nightmare King. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh man, I'll tell you what.
You know what blew my mind is we painfully documented our spiral downward into food coma, and people still went out and bought it.
Yep.
What the heck? Friends and family still went out and got it and
They're
tried
like,
it.
Look what I did.
And they're like, I thought you were exaggerating.
But you were right.
No, it was terrible. Can you believe it?
Oh,
ay.
Man.
What the
I'll tell
heck?
you what. And guys, just a side note, like we are seeing everybody that's popping in and saying where you're from. Like it's just so exciting. Thank you so much for
I know,
the
we
support.
got all over the country, just about every state we're watching. And we love when you
Canada,
guys come in
England.
and tell us where you're from. Because we're sitting here getting ready, last final things. And we've got the big TV in front of us with all the comments. So, Liverpool, England?
Oh.
Holy cow.
Key West on the honeymoon.
Whoa, you shouldn't be watching us on your honeymoon.
You should be having fun.
You know what I mean? Getting a little hoo-ha, ho-down.
Congratulations.
The Nightmare King. So,
Yeah.
how did... tell us.
All right. So it took me like 3 days. Some people can eat that stuff and it's fine. I think because we eat more healthy most of the time,
Whoa.
it probably had a different effect on us. But anyway, it took me like 3 days to start to kind of feel a little better. And I didn't have nightmares. I did have like dreams that were super frustrating though.
I was going to say, I didn't have nightmares. I had mildly frustrating dreams.
They should have called it the frustrating dream.
Yeah, the slightly disturbing king.
Yeah.
They weren't even disturbing, it was just frustrating. You know those dreams where you're trying to get something done, but it just doesn't quite happen.
This isn't happening, and people just aren't getting it. It's frustrating.
But it was more than that. Yeah, I felt the effects for like days. And there was a lot of movement. And I think Reanna might have had some rainbow movement, but I didn't.
I did. It was weird. Like I said, it took a couple days, but I actually, TMI, had the teal.
Okay, anyway.
Teal, it was gross. But I had to check.
Last weekend, in other news, I was at the first annual Paracon in the Northwoods. And guys, my manager is a vegetarian. And because of the Nightmare King, I ate whatever she ate that whole weekend. So I was a vegetarian the whole weekend. And I think it made a difference. But Paracon in the Northwoods, it was the first year up at North Star Casino Resort, and it was a blast. It was Ty Gowan was there, Dave Schrader, the New Kirks with the haunted museum of the paranormal and occult and holy long name.
Awesome.
But we had a blast, and it was so good, and the casino was so hospitable and welcoming that they're already setting it up for next year. So I think they're aiming for like May or something like that, but it's not officially announced. So shh. We'll see. But keep your eye on NorthstarCasinoResort.com for more info.
Yeah, and we've got coming up next week, right? Next week we go to the Mount Washington for the Strange Escapes event. Super excited about that, and you can learn more about that at strange-escapes.com. And future events coming up too.
Yeah, those events are top notch. Amy does not. She pulls out all the stops. Now, Reanna, that sure is a very nice shirt you're wearing.
Well, thank you so much.
What do
really
you think
like
of
your
my
shirt too.
Thank you.
It's very cool.
Yes.
Like super green and nice. And
but do you know there's more to
very
this shirt than just the
comfortable.
shirt? There's
No.
secret messages. Guys, if you recognize these shirts from last week, we popped these out of the Parabox monthly box that they sent us.
Yeah.
We highly recommend it. The guys over at Parabox Monthly,
Say that fast 3 times.
Paraboxmonthly.com. Our wonderful fellows. And they sent us these shirts. They're super comfortable.
They really are very comfortable.
Rihanna did a nice little trick, rolling up sleeves, looking super fly.
A little more girly.
She likes to cut the top of her shirts off, so maybe she'll attack this. We don't know. But guys, this shirt has like little symbols hidden in it. And we both figured out the secrets of our shirts.
So, yeah, each shirt has its own puzzle. And you go to the website and...
Samantha Bamantha called it right off the bat. She's like, hey, look at those shirts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, you go to the website, you type in the whatever shirt you got, and then you just follow it down the rabbit hole.
And when you decode your shirt, you get a password. You type that in, and there's another puzzle to solve. You solve that, and another password, so on and so forth. And then you're entered into a chance to win stuff.
Win more stuff.
Now, we wanted to make sure last week, we were so excited about the shirts, we forgot to mention that the fine folks at paraboxmonthly.com have given us a promo code. So if you go to their website, paraboxmonthly.com, and use promo code FETCH, without the exclamation point and question mark, you'll get 20% off all plans. That's huge.
Yeah.
20%. That's more than 10%, but less than 30%.
It's right in the middle.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So we highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
It really was a lot of fun. So as adults, it's just something you can look forward to once a month.
Someone has said 100 times in chat, why does he have paranormal activity? Oh, Paul, there he is. Why does he only have paranormal activity when he's home alone? Well, there's 100 reasons that could happen, Paul. Before we get into the actual news, he's asked it like 6 times, so we got to answer. Sometimes it could be simply because you're home alone, so you don't have an excuse for all the noises and things you're experiencing. You know, like if no one else is home and you hear the house click or pop, you can't blame it on your brother or whatever. But sometimes, hey, maybe it's just the entity that they just like you and no one else. They feel comfortable around you, or it could all be in your head. Who knows? Tom Gould says, fetch is such a Utah word. What the fetch? Oh, fetch. That's correct. That's exactly where I picked it up.
Yep. I'm originally from Utah. So.
She's from Spanish Fork, Utah. I went out there to school, grabbed her, clubbed her over the head, dragged her back to New England, and been happy ever since.
The rest is history. Yeah.
Okay. There's more reasons to that, but that's the long and the short of it. Rihanna? Your glasses are already on. Time for news,
I'm blind
guys.
Today. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, woo, guys, we got some interesting news, but I'm going to start off in the world of entertainment, or so we may think.
Oh snap!
Maybe this is in the vein of soft disclosure, guys, but there are 2 shows coming soon to TV that deal with government-related UFO projects. The first one I want to talk about is. You guys know Laurence Fishburne, right? We actually met him once.
Yeah, we did.
We were down in Newport at a food.
It was the what
fest.
was it?
Food.
It was something with seafood.
No, it was just food down in Newport and
food festival.
He was down there and he was chilling like a leisure suit. But anyway, this is Laurence Fishburne. He's a great actor. Love him from The Matrix, John Wick, of course. But he is going to be playing the role of Tyrone in a show coming up called Rendlesham. Do you know what Rendlesham is?
I don't.
Oh, I should say that right. Rendlesham. Hey, viewer from England, make sure we say it right, okay?
They'd probably cringe when we try.
So the show, like I said, is called Rendlesham, which is pretty much Britain's Roswell. It's known as Britain's Roswell. So I don't think it's as extreme as Roswell, but it took it back in when was this? Back in I think it was 1980. Yeah, back in 1980, December of 1980, at the Air Force Base there. It's RAF Woodbridge military base. It was a British base that was occupied by the U.S. military. And they had this crazy light in the sky, something that crashed into the forest.
Oh, I think, I remember this.
And, they went out there to check out the metallic object and it had glowing lights. And then when they went near it, it moved and scared all the animals and stuff. And days later, they went out and they found this triangular section with imprints on the ground. And they took readings, and they actually have recordings of this, like audio recordings. They documented it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And they saw lights in the distance, but some people think the second day lights were just the lighthouse off in the distance, and some say the fireball, the ship was just a meteorite crashing, but meteorites usually don't get back up and move around, so whoa. But anyway, needless to say, the show, we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to be made, but it's going to be an 8-part series. And like I said, Laurence Fishburne. I'm sorry, I'm tired, guys. Laurence Fishburne will play Tyrone, a retired U.S. airman who was stationed at the base during the Cold War. When he and his family return to England to visit his wife's dying father, he's forced to confront events that have haunted him for 40 years. Whoa. So, that sounds cool. I'll check it out.
Yep.
Hey, anyone who's in John Wick movies,
that.
I'll watch again.
Yeah.
Love me some John Wick. Okay. But the second one is coming sooner. We don't know when the other one's coming out. This one is coming out in January, I believe. So, pretty soon. Awesome. January 8th, 2019 at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. So this show is called Project Blue Book, and we actually have a little clip. So here's the trailer for it. I'll let you guys watch this real quick.
It went down just beyond those trees! Come on! This way!
The whole forest smelled like death.
Lord Almighty.
And then saw that thing. As God is my witness, it was not of this world.
We have a situation in West Virginia. Family reported seeing something falling from the sky.
I'll get down there right away. I need you to meet someone first.
Name's Dr. Alan Hynek.
You want me to investigate flying saucers?
I want you to help me prove to the public the truth. They don't exist.
Lori, Will, you can come on out now. Doctor, tell me what's happening to my babies.
If you believe that you have seen these strange lights in the sky, would you please raise your hand?
My name is Dr. Hynek. We understand that you saw an entity.
The men in hats, and they were scared.
You should be too.
Alan's working on some really strange things. The flying saucers. More than that, I just don't feel safe anymore.
I'm wondering if Professor Hynek will one day be a problem that needs solving.
You think it's possible extraterrestrial life exists?
The probability of us being alone in our universe is 0. You're not under attack.
What the hell was that?
Those things were not planes.
How the hell would you know what types of planes the Russians have or don't have?
The Russians have nothing to do with this.
I am closer than I've ever been.
Need I remind you of our purpose here?
Flying saucers don't exist.
How do you explain the damage? What type of UFO could do that?
I'm sorry, you have what?
They're watching us. Hey! There's something more going on here. I want to know what it is.
I said close the case. What the hell do you expect?
I expected to discover the truth.
Logic can't begin to explain what we're dealing with here.
All right.
Now that looks cool, right?
I'm wicked excited about that.
You guys are right. That is Littlefinger in there, so good call on that. I'm excited. It's a 10-episode series, and hopefully it turns into more than that. But it's cool. It says, according to history, each Project Blue Book episode is going to be centered on a real case file and obviously be a dramatized version of it. Yeah. The episodes will blend fact with conspiracy theories, and many known documented cases will appear throughout the series. So We shall
I'm
see.
excited for that.
Dr. J. Allen Hynek, of course. If you're into the weird, you know that name immediately. So I'm excited to see more about him and his involvement in this. And obviously, we got to take it all with a grain of salt. It's Hollywood. But I love that this stuff is happening. Soft disclosure. Get us ready for it.
Yeah. I really think that's why. I mean, there's been a lot of movies and things like that, but I feel like there's even more coming out, and I don't know. There's a lot going on, but they're a little more open about.
But what's so cool about Project Blue Book is, I mean, this stuff is out there. Like, Freedom of Information Act has put a lot of stuff in our way that you can check out, and we'll get into some of that in later episodes. But
yeah,
I don't want the Men in Black knocking on our door just yet. So there you go. What do you got, Ray? Check that out, guys. Again, January 8th, 2019. Go, Ray.
I'm excited. All right, so I don't know how many of you guys know this. It was something that was new to me, so maybe I'm behind the times. But apparently, libraries across the whole nation offer more than just your books and tapes and CDs and videos and stuff.
Yeah, I know our own library has, like, cake pans you can check out.
Yep, hopefully more in the future. But apparently, it was 1979, the California Berkeley Library started collecting tools and allowing people to check tools out. So at this point in time, they have over 3,500 tools.
What?
That people
like
can
tools
check
like
out.
Drills and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So for free, you can go get these tools.
Yep, you get your
That's brilliant.
Your $30 or $40 library pass, and then you can check out these tools. But that's not the only thing that you can check out. Like, they have power tools. They have kayaks. There are instruments you can rent out.
What?
They have things like 3D printers. They have Wi-Fi hotspots you can.
Tracy says our library lends energy meters.
Whoa.
That's so
cool. This blew my mind just because, I'm so used to the regular thing. And
Michael Kupak says library. I'm unfamiliar. It's where they have books. You can read.
But they even have, some of them even have like passes that you can borrow, so you can go to like the local zoo or the museum or things like that. Yeah.
So, like, if I have I could go there and get, like, a Costco card and borrow it and go get deals at Costco?
Theoretically, yes.
What?
Yeah. And then, too...
I need to update my library card.
Some of them offer, like, over 3,000 plus classes that you can take. Classes that normally cost a lot of money online are free. Graphic design, their workshops. They even have soundproof rooms, some of them, so you can go in, you can jam out, you can record.
Go in and just yell.
It's just, what I love about this is that it's a facility that's not just your books and stuff now, but they're expanding to where it's, any type of learning environment and things you would need for it. If you have a DIY project that you just need these certain tools for, you don't want to go spend the money on the tools because you're only going to do the project once, go to the library, check it out, do your project, and turn it back in.
That's amazing. I had no idea. I mean, I was like, wow, this place has video games and movies. Yeah. Wow. And they're just like, you know what? You can rent the moon if you want. I don't know. Here's a spaceship you can take.
Yeah, so I thought it was cool, and I actually checked our local library, and they are in the process of expanding right now.
Yeah,
so
the addition is like twice the size of the actual library.
Yeah, it's huge. So I know they're going to have like a lot of rooms. I know they're adding a 3D
Can I rent a
printer.
baby?
Why would you want to do
Short
that?
hair says,
for
can
like
I rent
5
a baby?
minutes.
So you can give it back.
I know, love it, snuggle it for 5 minutes, then you give it back. That's like the best job of like grandparents or whatever, right?
Not ready for that
Spoiling?
yet.
No, not yet.
Whoa.
Almost, but not yet. But yeah, so I thought that was really neat. I also, because I know that our local library is having these rooms built. Some of them even have kitchens. So you could do like, cooking class or something like that. So
wow.
What this all boils down to is check your local library. If you haven't been there in a while, check them out, see what they offer.
I'd go a step further and support your local library.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever.
The thing I tend to find, I'm going to go to bed. The thing I tend to find the most at my local library are bad library puns. Like, I saw one that had on a book, it said, "Take me to your reader," and it had a UFO.
Oh.
There was one that had a pumpkin, and it says, "Dive into a gourd book."
A gourd book?
So dry.
Our kids are
almost
like
as dry
the
as the
king
Nightmare
of
King.
puns. Right?
Is that what you got?
What have you got?
All right, so I'm going to show this little video, guys. Bear with me, okay? Because this thing intrigues the living heck out of me, all right? Okay. So tell me if you recognize this thing. This space potato here is what's called a Oumuamua. This thing is fascinating. It rocketed into our solar system at a speed of 97,200 miles per hour in October of last year. So you might be thinking this is old news, but what's interesting about this thing is it came from interstellar space, meaning it's not from our solar system. This thing came rocketing in from somewhere else. I think the Lyra system came in. You can see it here. Came right past our sun and turned and accelerated and took off back into space. So, I mean, most of you've probably heard about this by now, but if you haven't, you heard it here first. This thing is weird. At first, they thought it was a comet because it took this turn and accelerated. And comets will accelerate when they come near the sun because it has all this stuff that it just helps it accelerate as gases and stuff come out. But this thing took off. Now, normally you can do what's called the Oberth maneuver or effect, where you come around and you can accelerate using gravity at the right time. You go as fast as possible, and at the height of your speed, then you thrust. And that's the most efficient use of fuel to go back out to another planet. We do this near Jupiter a lot with our stuff. You know, you heard slingshot, that's different. But you go near Jupiter, and as you get stuck in its well, it speeds you up, and then you, as fast as you're going, you just push a little bit further, and it breaks you out, and you go faster. Which it looks like this thing did. And that shouldn't happen naturally. A slingshot is different. It should have come and fallen into orbit around our sun because our sun's gravitation is so cool. Just everyone wants to join him.
It's hot.
But it didn't. Cool. It actually accelerated like way faster than it should have. And now what you saw in that video is just an artist's rendition. We only know, they think it's longer than it is wide, about a quarter of a mile long. And it's about the size and shape, they estimate, as the Gherkin Tower in London. This is for all our British friends over there. So it looks something, I mean, it's about that big in size. So the sun should definitely have caught that. It doesn't make any sense why it didn't. But they don't think it's a comet because it doesn't have a tail.
Okay.
And you know, the tail of a comet always points away from the sun because it's getting pushed by the solar winds and stuff. But they only know that it's oblong by the way they see it through the telescope. It's not like they're zooming in and seeing this thing. They only tell it's tumbling because sometimes it's brighter than others, which means it's odd-shaped and it's tumbling. But at first, scientists were just stumped. They were arguing, is it a comet? Is it an asteroid? Is it a comet? Is it an asteroid? And, you know, of course, us with our tinfoil hats are saying that this thing is some kind of spaceship, maybe a space wreck that's just tossing lonely in space. But they started analyzing it, and they say that it's by the color of the light that came off it, it's like a pink, almost red, and that it's got a high metal content. So what could this thing be?
Not little.
Like a massive spaceship. Now, we like to speculate all day about this stuff. We want it to be true. But science is like, it's a comet, it's an asteroid, until this week. So, guys, let's see. We've got a couple guys we got Shmuel, these names are crazy, Shmuel Bial who's a researcher at CFA's Institute for Theory and Computation, and Abraham Loeb, who's a professor of science at Harvard. Maybe you've heard of Harvard. This is not some community college, guys. They speculate that because it picked up speed, that it might be like a solar sail, which catches solar wind to accelerate. Or it could have been. They say they have all these crazy things it could be. They're like, maybe it's an artificial origin. Maybe it's a light sail floating in interstellar space. It could be a more exotic scenario where Oumuamua may be a fully operational probe sent intentionally to Earth vicinity by an alien civilization. So they send this thing. It comes rocketing right towards the center of our solar system, scans whatever needs to scan, in theory, and then takes off to the next one. I mean, when you talk to folks who are in the business of doing this, of coming up with how we would approach another solar system and how we would examine it, this is exactly what they would do. This is how they would do it. They would send a ship right to the middle of it and get as much information as they can, and then have it slingshot around and come back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Another option is the alien shipwreck, where maybe this thing was, it's millions of years old, and everyone on it's done, and it's just careening through space.
Except that it still did that turn at
It still
the
did
end.
that move. Right, where if it's the solar sail reason, then it's already deployed, and it's just going to do it anyway.
It would do it anyway.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. So, I mean, what I'm getting out of this, what is so exciting to me, is that science is starting to go, I think they're starting to get tired of what's here, and they're starting to go, what if? I mean, guys at Harvard are saying, a written paper, a paper saying this could be something from another civilization. It's that soft disclosure again, man. They're slowly getting us ready. When someone from Harvard says, guys, listen, and the scientific community is kind of listening, like, okay, we'll hear you out. But I think there's kind of a catch here, okay? These guys who wrote this paper saying maybe it's a solar sail, they are part of this community that this group that really wants to champion the idea of solar or laser sails to get us to other civilizations. So maybe it's their chance for advertising. I don't know. I'm just reading between the lines a little. They have a project called Project Lyra, which is put on by the Initiative for Interstellar Studies in UK. It's a not-for-profit organization. And they're planning to send a probe off to Oumuamua because it's still going through our solar system, and they think they can catch up to it by about the time it hits Saturn or Jupiter.
Oh.
In 10 to 15 years, they want to have this probe out there. So we'll see.
That would be super interesting.
We'll see. Right. The guys who wrote this paper, they have this technology called a laser sail. Well, they have these micro ships. So they have everything you'd need to study, to power, to communicate, in something that's barely bigger than a postage stamp. It's a circle, right? And they can attach this to this little sail. So you'd send up a little thing in space, and it would eject this little thing. The sail would open, and this little tiny thing would go off. But they have to build this huge array of lasers on Earth to push it.
Wow.
So they push it. They think it can get up to speeds of about 20% or 1/5 the speed of light. Boom. So they could get to our nearest star in about 20 years with these things.
Is that what they were doing down in Antarctica?
I don't know.
I'm wondering.
So they plan to launch hundreds, even thousands of these, and then shoot them with lasers and send them off. But I mean, if they went and sent stuff back, there'd be 20 years to get there. If they can send the information back, on light beams or whatever, then the 24 years we'll know what the heck's going on at Alpha Centauri over there. Crazy stuff, right?
Incredible.
Crazy stuff.
I love it.
Let's see what we got. Have you seen any comments, or have you just been blown away?
Yeah, they're talking back and forth.
Scientists are like, what the fetch?
People ready for disclosure. Like, just do it. Jack's saying hi.
Yes, why can't they use stargates for dimensional shifts? There is a lot of technology going on where they're trying to discover, how to do the actual thing in Star Trek where you bend space-time. You create a warp bubble around you, and you bring your destination to you. And when you're in that bubble, you wouldn't even need inertial dampeners. You wouldn't feel anything because you're not technically moving. They're working on that. They're also working on antimatter gravity. So if antimatter, if they can isolate antimatter and see if it falls towards the Earth or goes the other way. If antimatter goes the other way, all of a sudden we've got everything from Star Wars and Star Trek and beyond. All of a sudden everything is possible. And they're going to be testing that in a few years. So crazy. All right.
I hope we're here to see it.
Why don't we let these guys take a nap after that one? Alky Bear Drive. You got it, Mike Ritchie. And Christy Newsom is really tied into the conversation. She says, Jack looks so fluffy after his bath. That's
I know. I couldn't tell if he was happy with me or if he was falling asleep that day. But he is. He's fluffy and soft now. So that's good.
So that's it. Oumuamua. Keep your eye on it,
Oumuamua.
guys. There's going to be
right.
some weird stuff coming out of that. I'll tell you what.
So apparently, there is this guy. His name is Martin Kunz. Hopefully I said that right. He's a ceramist from Gmunden, Austria.
There's a lot of things you're getting wrong in there. Try those again. So, what's his name?
It's Martin Kunz.
Kunz?
Yes.
He's a ceramist. From Gmunden, Austria. That's my guess.
That's what I said.
If you're from Austria, I'm sorry. Apologize.
So when he was 13 years old, he went on vacation with his parents to the beach, and he took a bottle and just threw a piece of paper in it. He was like digging this really like deep hole till he hit water, like we do at the beach. And he threw a piece of paper in this bottle that had his name, his phone number, and address. Or no, name and phone number. And then he buried it. And he was hoping that someone would find it within the year. He was hoping to be like some beautiful woman or some girl, because he was 13. But so he left it in there.
Centerfold's out there digging up time capsules.
Yeah, but someone did find it, but it was over like 30 years later.
And she was 13. I missed his window.
All right. No. It was a guy, an old veteran, I guess, that was walking around with his dog and somehow found
the exact opposite
the
of what he
bottle.
wanted.
But the guy called, and Martin's parents still were at that same phone number. So they got in connection with each other and were able to catch up and thought that was so cool that someone had found his bottle.
It's like a fourth dimensional message in a bottle.
It's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a long time. So, but he was so fascinated with the idea of a time capsule. He read the book. It's called The World Without Us by Alan Wiseman. I personally have not read it, but it just talks about, all these different things. If we weren't here, what would happen to the world? And so that got Martin thinking. And he's a ceramist, so he was like, what's something that could be around for a long time, even after we're gone? And so that's kind of what he built his business on, and that's why he makes things out of ceramics. But, so he took this idea, and he's like, he said, we've got so much information, pictures, all our information and stuff up in the cloud. All this digital information.
Which is at the mercy of the people who own it. That's what scares me about it.
Well, I've even said it to myself. I'm like, why make the scrapbooks anymore? I don't need to print out the pictures, make scrapbooks. I can just have them, they're online, and they'll always be there, kind of a thing. But he's like, okay, well, they're already trying to find a new type of cloud storage technology because it just... to keep it safe and have more space and all that. Well, he decided that, 6 years ago, he made what's called Memory of Mankind, or MOM, is what they're calling it.
Oh, I see what he did there.
He has taken, he makes these ceramic tiles. They're 8x8 ceramic tiles. And his goal is to... put as much information on those tiles as he can. And it's an ongoing project. He talks to citizens, scholars, experts, enthusiasts. He's made it so that when he makes these ceramic tiles, he laser etches them. So he can actually fit, it was 5 400-page books on each tile.
Can you actually read it?
He says it's really, really small. So hopefully in the future, either their eyes are really big, which they might be, or he leaves like a magnifying glass with it or something.
Oh, man.
But
this is interesting though, because it's the same concept that was at Mount Rushmore. A lot of people don't know that around Mount Rushmore there's a huge vault built into the side of it.
Right.
And it's supposed to have all our major achievements etched in stone there, so they stand the test of time.
Etched in stone.
Yeah.
Nice.
And this is what he's trying to do.
So it is. It's what he's trying to do. And he's talking to nuclear experts so that they can put information on these tiles so that in the future, if we're all died out, then people will know where the nuclear waste is so that they can take care of it properly. Like all these different things. But what he does is he makes these tiles and then he gets a few of them together. He loads them up in his car. He's made like these special ceramic like cases.
Do you have a picture of one?
I do have a picture of one. Can you show them, please?
I will put up a picture of one. Go ahead, keep talking.
So, this where he stores them is a place called Hallstatt, which is in the Alps, and it's a local salt mine, and it's way in there. And I loved reading the story about this. We'll have the link in the description below so you can read more about it yourselves. But when they talk about going to the actual spot in the salt mines where he stores these, it's seriously like Gringotts in Harry Potter. You sit on the little mine cart.
Shut up.
It's like it's not as big as Gringotts, but you know, you're flying through these cave walls.
And there's a goblin
with,
driving?
Little lights every now and then. Well, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And but then they get to where he stored them, and he's got quite a few boxes stored. But he's been working with people.
Goblins.
Svalbard Global Seed Project. We were talking about that the other day, where they keep all the seeds frozen.
Well, the other day we were talking about human seeds that get ejected into space.
Yes.
These are actual plant seeds.
Plant seeds.
Okay.
Yes, and that's in Norway, and. He's been working with a lot of people. He's also been working with people from the Frozen Zoo, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Wait, what?
Yep.
You have the weirdest stories.
Like all these frozen things. But he says this
Let
is
it go,
not...
honey. Let it go.
I'm obsessed. No, not really. But he says this is not a doomsday project.
Okay.
He just thinks it's important that we keep our information somewhere.
I absolutely. If
Yeah.
a previous civilization, let's say anybody who came before us did a better job of that, we would be so much better for it. Like,
right.
we should be like,
That's the alphabet and math and all these different things that we have because they documented how to do it right.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. So he has 3 independent info streams that he likes to have on these tiles. The first one being news, political, and geographical. So all kinds of different news, what's going on today, what has happened, what's, kind of a daily thing, the important things. So that's history is documented. The second thing is scientific papers, popular songs, pop culture, etc. And the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, let your mind wander. He's putting it all
Like
on the
Justin Bieber?
tiles.
He's putting it all?
Putting it all. No.
Oh.
No, he's all that
It's a
kind of
future
stuff.
warning to future generations.
Don't listen. And the third thing is personal. So stories, passions, pictures, tributes, all that kind of stuff. It's actually pretty neat. So,
Whoa! Is he putting What the Fetch on there?
I don't know. He could.
Call him now. I summon the army of weirdos to put us, immortalize us in ceramic.
So if you go to mom.com, or you can look up the memory of mankind and do mom, you'll find the website. We'll also have it in the description box below. But if you go to the website, you can learn more about the project, what they're doing for it. And if you want to submit something, you can. I believe it's free of charge to submit like a story or something like that, or ideas, poems, whatever. If you want to do something more like an art thing, if you want to draw a picture on it, because he even has like colored tiles. It's incredible.
Jeez.
Those do cost, but he prices them out based on where you live. so it will be affordable based on your country and all that kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
He's really got this figured out.
Yeah. And like
is he documenting his own process on the tiles?
Probably.
Well, it can't be one man. It's got to be an institute.
Well, he's the one doing it, but he has a lot of, like I said, experts, scientists, all these other people that are helping get him information, the important stuff, and a lot of people are submitting information. So
this is huge.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty neat. And the salt mines you can actually go to as a tourist and tour the salt mines. I don't believe you can see what he's stored, but you can actually go through the salt mine that these are stored in. If
Get
that
yourself
makes sense.
some souvenir
And
salt on the way.
The
Do
other
they sell
thing
salt
too,
shakers? That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that would be so good.
Jack
Jack
just-
is wigging out. Dude, are you all right, buddy?
It's that ghost again.
Because of where he's storing them in the salt mine, it doesn't belong to any country or anything. So theoretically, the stuff doesn't belong to anyone. So there's no taxes or no fees. There's nothing. It's just stored there for the future. So
crazy.
Yeah. And I mentioned the Frozen Zoo.
Yeah,
So
what was that about?
Basically, another Frozen arc.
Got reindeer in it?
Yeah.
I didn't step on the pooch, Nigel. I swear.
Jack's just crazy tonight. I don't know. So there's a place north of San Diego. It's called the San Diego Zoo Institute for Conservation Research. It's very different. And basically, they are focusing on taking cells from every animal that they can get cells for and freezing them. So, like, they just got a whale in the mail. Like, they're like, we
whale
just
in the mail?
received
Is that
a whale in the mail.
whaleinthemail.com? You get a whale in the mail?
Just add water. But they, I guess, had to go through all this red tape and stuff because you can't just ship. They're like, you just can't ship a whale in the mail. Like, you have to get all the special permission.
No, I object. You can go to whaleinthemail.com. We just did this.
We just did that. I love you. So, but they are trying to get all these cells from animals. What they do is they get them, they grow more. They cultivate them so they grow more cells. They split those in half. They store half of the cells in their facility and half of the cells in another facility somewhere. So that, if one of the facilities gets destroyed, they still have cells from the other one.
Recipe for Coke. Now, no one person has the full recipe.
There you go.
That's what it is.
There you go.
Okay.
So they have almost 10,000 animals in their facility there that are frozen.
I feel like millions of years from now, someone's going to find this and they're going to have Jurassic Park all over again.
See, and they talked about that.
See?
So they didn't come right out and say that they did or didn't.
Look, Kellen, have we not learned anything from Jurassic Park?
We have been saying that for how many years? So, yeah, but they have tons of stuff. And their idea is so that the animals don't go extinct. Because we have...
show this? Huh?
So we have a cool picture. This is what it looks like.
This is the variety pack from Whale in the Mail. You can get humpback. You can get
buy one, get one free.
Yeah, they're
what
all
color
there.
do you want?
Yeah, it's cheaper that way.
But they pretty much they said that they have the ability, they have the equipment, the tools, the technology to they don't call it resurrect, they call it de-extinction. That they don't like the word resurrection.
Right.
For
Well,
some
it has
reason.
religious connotations. I get this.
Okay.
You don't want woolly mammoth coming back. With Legion of Angels.
They're already trying to do.
They are. Someone actually just mentioned that, which is a different story.
Yeah.
That we will tell on a slow news day because it's not necessarily current anymore.
But they have already de-extinctified, which they're not really extinct yet. But they've done it with a mouse. They brought a mouse back from the cells, from the level of cells.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't know.
So they're doing
man.
it already. So let me just kind of recap. Okay.
Weird. Yeah, please
we have moms that they're trying to give birth in space, and before that, they're making sure that the man and woman cells can go together in space, and then they're freezing them and all this stuff, right, up there and on Earth. Then we've got, this guy who's keeping all of our information so that someday it will rise to the top of the earth and people will find it in the future. We've got this, frozen zoo where we've got all these animals. We've got seeds. Like, I feel like it's just...
Wait, and
crazy.
You have libraries that you can check anything out of. Can you check a woolly mammoth out of the library in the future? Is that what we're talking about? Is how all your stories
right,
combine?
I know. They're all coming together.
I am getting a library card tomorrow. This is incredible. We've officially broken
cool.
Gwendolyn's brain. I know she likes to be called Deanna, right?
But what's a library?
My brain hurts.
So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I just think... I think it's neat.
I think that's smart. I think it's smart to preserve everything we have as much as possible. I like the seed vaults.
Yes.
I like that they're doing this. But you know what? What bothers me about it is this world has gone through way more. And it's survived so much. And I believe that we are the direct result of the changes of this planet. If the planet didn't change and things didn't evolve and grow and move, we wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes... events like this, things like this, where we want to make sure we can preserve all the animals, we're basically forcing the world to pause in our time period, which may not necessarily be the best thing for the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can see that.
The best time might have been the Cenozoic era. We don't know, But no, we want it to stay this way forever. We want that blue-ridged frigging woodpecker that I just made up to stay there forever. For millions of years, he's going to still be there. And that might not be the best thing for the earth. But this is the stuff I think about.
But I'll wait until another day. So.
What?
Well,
Are you going to go down a rabbit hole?
Cenozoic era. Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
Okay, all right.
So.
Is that all you got? My turn?
Yes, your turn.
Tap me out. Here we go. All right. So, we all love the sun. The sun is a beautiful thing. It keeps Reanna nice and warm. You already are hot. She likes to stay... warm. And you know what? We know that there's a big ball of energy up in the sky that we could harness. I mean, we have solar power. We've got our solar cells up and everywhere. And it's good, but it's not all that practical. And it can only work, in certain areas and certain times of year. Well, I believe a team in Sweden have just fixed this problem. They're creating what's called solar thermal fuel, which is a liquid that can trap the energy of the sun and store it for up to 18 years at room temperature.
What?
It stores it in this fluid, and then when you want to get it back out, you just have to run it through this catalyst, and it's there. How awesome is that?
How the heck do they do that?
So there's this liquid. They have basically a molecule in liquid form, which is a combination of carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. And when they have a device that points at the sun, it's like a satellite dish, and it has this tube, and this liquid goes through it and heats up in the sun, okay? And when it's heated up, the bonds between the molecules rearrange into a hyper new energized version called an isomer. So it gets charged in the bonds, and you can cool it back down to room temperature, and because of the way it's formed, it's storing the energy. And then you put it through a catalyst, and it comes back out.
Wow.
When it's ready, the liquid is drawn through a catalyst, and it returns original form, releasing energy as heat, your favorite thing.
That's a good thing.
Warming it by 63 degrees Celsius or 113 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
Boom. So this thing can be used as, for domestic heating systems, water heaters, dishwashers, clothes dryers. It can even be used to turn a turbine, right?
Oh my gosh.
So the prototype is in place. They've done this cycling over 125 times without any damage to the molecule. It's brilliant. I mean, how do we even think of this stuff?
Wow.
They claim the fluid, even though they're doing the testing, it works, but they're trying to optimize it and perfect it. And they say when they do that, obviously it can hold, they say it can hold 250 watt hours per kilogram, which is double the capacity of Tesla's Powerwall batteries. You know the Tesla car?
Yeah.
Double. And it's coming from the sun.
So,
it's amazing.
So is this leaning towards the free energy type thing, or like?
Well, as long as the sun's alive, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and they said they've made crucial advances already. Casper Moth-Poulsen, who is a nanomaterial scientist at Chalmers University, said, "We have made crucial advances recently, and today we have an emissions-free system which works all year round. They think with optimization, they can get even more heat, at least 110 degrees Celsius or 230 degrees Fahrenheit out of this.
Holy crap.
This is incredible. Like, this is a game changer.
Do you know what I'm surprised at? The fact that this actually came out and that it didn't get... You know what I mean?
It didn't get squashed.
Like, it didn't get squashed before we heard about it.
Here's the little image there. So you see the solar collector, right? Thermal collector. And the thing goes counterclockwise here. So you've got the cool liquid with stored chemical energy going into the energy storage. And you can see it's a liquid, so you can store it, you can send it anywhere. You could have farms of this stuff, put it in a truck, and send it to somebody else.
It's not going to blow up or anything.
No.
It's just hot, like,
well, it's got hydrogen
room
in there, so we'll see. But the cool liquid that was stored chemical energy can go through the catalyst where it's returned to its natural state. All that energy is released. And the warm liquid, it comes out as heating. And then cool liquid goes back through. Isn't that crazy?
That's incredible.
Holy cow. Someone just said this will never be made public. I don't know if you're talking about this or a conversation, but they say this will be available for commercial use within 10 years. 10 years. And this was on, I believe, NBC News. So, yeah. Can't get much more public than that.
I guess, yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, so this is cool. Hopefully, Kellen says, hopefully we'll be able to check one out in a library someday. Yeah. That's what I'm going to use to heat up.
Libraries are starting to go extinct, so maybe we should freeze those too.
I think that's smart. Save their DNA for later. I think libraries are changing. They're morphing.
I love that. Yeah, I think so. They're realizing that they need to do more, and they are. Mike
Ritchie asked, so the liquid is reusable? Yes. You have the liquid in its natural state. You excite it with sunness, with sonicity.
Yes.
Sonitude. And it changes the bonds, which stores the energy. That liquid can go right in and power your whatever. As it goes through the catalyst, the energy is released, and the same liquid, it just goes back to its normal state.
Can be refused.
We'll go right back up to that device and get the sun energy and just keep doing this. Or you could just store it up in tanks all summer long, so in the winter, you've got it. It's incredible. It's incredible.
You know what? I wonder if because we, over the years, the, like, car engines that run on, I don't know, water or something, something easily accessible, and those ideas got squashed or people got bought out. I wonder if over time they're seeing how the fuel isn't doing so good for our world, and so they're finally letting these new ideas come out. Because we need to do something different.
What's silly is all these people squash these ideas because of the mighty dollar and the oil industry and all that stuff. And what's cool is you're seeing that start to break. You're seeing people... with the internet, it's really hard to squash this stuff. People put it out there, and YouTube can shut it down or whatever, but it's out there. People have seen it. And so, any good business needs to learn to adapt. And so... these energy companies should be really buying these things and making them happen and be the next one. Yeah. And I get it. It's huge financial investment. But this is huge.
That's awesome.
This is huge.
Yes. We'll be
I read the article, and I got chills the whole time. Like, this is massive.
Yeah. I say we'll be using the sun's energy for gas, and we'll be flying. We won't even be using roads anymore.
I'm going to be using
above the roads.
The Nightmare King's energy for gas. For years to come. Okay. Jeez. Well, now we're going to move into the new segment of the show, guys. I know we're going long, so we'll try to keep it. We'll try to blast through this.
This is a work in progress. We're learning.
No, but there was so much good news this week.
There really was, yeah.
So now we're moving into the evidence bag, okay? And Deanna Devaney, who is in disguise on there as Gwendolyn, she told us to check out. She said, "Hey, check out Josh Gates' video." I guess the crew set up a time lapse or a camera on one of the moai in Easter Island, and they inadvertently caught what they call a UFO. So I'm going to show it to you guys. I've slowed it down. All right, here it is. Do you see that thing?
I see it.
Do you see it, Ray?
Whoa, I see it, Jay. What is that?
It's anomalous. So pay attention to this thing. Obviously, this is, there it goes.
Bigger.
There it goes.
That's what she said.
Even turns and everything. Reanna, you dirty burger. And even closer.
Never does
yeah,
a day
ding,
go
ding,
by.
ding. Tom Gould. Spoilers. It's a bug. It's clearly a bug, guys. Like, I wish Josh had called me. Sorry, Josh.
Explain why it's a bug.
It's a bug. If you notice the statues there, they clearly got a bright light on it. Probably a 1K or something shining on this thing, or probably several of them. And you see this thing, which looks... Anytime you see something that looks like that, little bumpy, little long, it's a bug. And it comes through real bright... And then as it leaves the spotlight of the light, you can see it starts to disappear and goes off to the side. It's a bug. It's a bug.
There you go.
Tom, steal thunder all day long, man. We're
good.
doing this together.
Yeah,
no worries.
That's why you guys are here.
Wait, Mike brings a new twist. It's a space bug.
Space bug.
It's a space bug. It's a really small UFO.
Is it in a spacesuit?
Unidentified flying tot.
There you go.
Get the ketchup. Stat. Okay. The next one comes from Katie. I think I have her. Do I have her thing? I don't know. It's here. No, it's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Katie is submitting an image. Okay. She says it was taken at Sedumsville Rectory in Sedumsville. Get out of there. Sedumsville, Ohio. During an investigation. So here's the picture. Let me bring it up, guys. I don't know where my mouse went. Hang on.
It's over there.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's the picture. I swear I'll get this better. Okay, so what we're looking at, obviously it's askew. It's cockeyed picture. We see, something to hold cords there. But up in the upper right, you see this black shadow. Now, she said that she kept seeing something over her shoulder, but she would turn and it would not be there. And so she did one of these over-the-shoulder things. Pow! And caught this. Now, at first glance, you might think, okay, this is her hair. It was taken over her shoulder.
Right.
But it may be. We don't know that. She says it's not. She said the way she turned her head, like she moved her head out of the way and took the picture.
Because she wears her hair in a ponytail when she investigates, right?
Well, that doesn't preclude this from being a hair in a ponytail.
Gotcha.
But honestly, she said she took it over her left shoulder, I believe. And yeah, her left shoulder. So her ponytail would have to be coming from the other side. I mean, it would either have to go up and over the camera. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or she'd have someone else's hair there. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that one is. I'm actually gonna bring it back up again. But so if you're holding the camera and you turn like this, the ponytail's gonna go this way, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you turn like this, you might get the ponytail, but you get it in the other side of the image, right?
Yeah.
You get it on the left side
of the image.
So, the problem with pictures, guys, is it's like reading one page out of a book and pretending you know the whole story. So, more pictures would be better. I always recommend video instead of just snapshots. So when you see that UFO in the sky or that ghost coming at you, go for video. Don't do stills. It's
a little easier to...
But what's interesting about it is you can see the stuff through it. Mm-hmm. So, Katie, I mean, I wasn't there. I can only go by what you tell me. This is odd. It's weird. And usually when I've seen shadowy figures, they're like that. They're a little fuzzy around the edges and you can still see through them. Sometimes you can't. But hey, I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. All right. Next one comes from Luann from Canada. And she says, here you go. I honestly think it's a spirit. There was no one up there. And as you know, that area is... What the heck is that? How did that get there? Is locked. Okay, so what happened is she took this picture. She was at Eastern State Penitentiary, and she took this picture. And I've been there. I know that above the railing, you typically can't go. I wouldn't say it's impossible to go, but a worker might be able to go up there. But it's a stabilized ruin, and they have pretty strict rules. Now, if you zoom way into the back of it, you see this. So by the window, it certainly looks like maybe almost like a bow-legged guy with his hands in his pockets, just checking out what's going on. Maybe the posture of a guard. I don't know. And if you notice, the head seems like it's really thin. That's typical when something's standing in front of a bright light.
Or it looks like he's kind of leaning over, like you see the head over there.
Oh yeah, maybe like he's leaning a little to his right.
Like he's leaning over to see what's going on
the railing
down the hall.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's even better. Mm-hmm. So I analyzed this, Luann, and I raised the contrast and all this, but it's so zoomed in that it was really hard to make any sense. But what I did is this effect that you do in Photoshop called Find Edges. And what it does is it finds a stark contrast between different shapes. And if you look at this, boom, that kind of shows a little clearer. You can see the
Something is in the window.
hard left side of this guy's body, or his left, our right. Mm-hmm. And you do see a line to the left. And you can see that it is blocking, whatever is there is blocking that black strip in the back, right at his waist. You see, he's blocking it completely.
Yeah.
So now, I don't know. I wasn't there. Again, all of this is subjective. I wasn't there. So we don't know if someone was up there or not. We don't know if there was a cutout figure up there, or if there was it could have been anything. It could have been storing anything up there. But cool picture nonetheless. Boom, boom, boom.
Very cool.
There you go, Reanna.
Very cool picture.
It's a very cool picture of stuff. Okay, guys. But now it's over to you. It's time for Tots. Thoughts on things. Thoughts on things for you newcomers who don't enjoy tots. Thoughts on things. Last week's tot was what, Reanna? What did we ask these fine folks?
So last week we asked you guys, what fun and interesting things do you do or snuggle with to relax?
Yeah.
We got some pretty awesome responses from the email and from the comments. So.
From our resident funny guy.
There you go.
LJ Mastanoob. He said, you can't cuddle with music, but I do like to relax with music. I do that too.
Yeah.
But I like to play it to relax.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, totally. Totally. All right. This one's cool. I think we can all get on board with this. Case in NRI says...
let's see. I relax through a cleaning cleansing. Well, cleaning in the shower. Cleansing meditation in the shower.
No one relaxes by cleaning the shower.
She's sending you some evidence to review.
Whoa, wait. I relax through a cleansing meditation in the shower? Don't send me evidence of that. Please. We love you.
No, that's a great thing, though. Cleansing meditation in the shower. You put some essential oils in there. Just make it smell good, like a little spa experience.
Yeah, if I'm a little stuffed up or coffee, I'll be taking cough-ish. If I'm chipped coffee, tonight. This is the joy of live. I'll be in the shower, and Reanna will come out of nowhere like a ninja, open the door, and drop some oils on the floor of the shower, and all of a sudden it smells like amazing, and I feel better. Yeah. So we don't need evidence of this, though. Thank you. Okay, this one's really teeny tiny. Okay. This one's from Amber. She says, I relax by playing Assassin's Creed or the Legend of Zelda games. Yes! That's what I do. Every kind of December, I shut off from the world, and I pray there's a new Zelda game out, and I play it. Rihanna sits there and helps me through it. We all work together. Yep. That's the most relaxed I think I ever am. She says a fun way to relax. See you later, guys. I'm out. You got this, Rianna. Michelle's relaxes by cleaning the house. You're broken.
Wow. Yeah, not me.
She says everything. It's a way to allow the mind to let go of everything, good awesome. Or bad. And you can always press pause and get back to reality. That's no fun, though. Don't do that. Or she calls her the cat Dante. Her emotional support animal.
Nice name.
She suffers from anxiety and depression. So very interested in hearing how other people relax. Oh, that's cool. Good job. Thanks for sharing that. Next one's from Lindsay Armstrong. I noticed in the chat they were talking about adult coloring books. I like to color and watch movies to relax. Grab my blanket and moo the cow. Wait a minute.
Moo the cow.
Moo the cow. Are you a cow cuddler?
Cow cuddler. Do you live in New York?
If you guys have no idea what we're talking about, watch last week's episode. There's a place in New York where you can pay $75 an hour to cuddle a cow, which we're going to do someday.
Oh, we are. It's going down.
Wait, so you watch movies, grab your blanket, and moo the cow and just veg. Someone's listening way too hard to our show. She's like, I'm on it. Poof, got in a car immediately, went up to upstate New York. I imagine
awesome.
that's some kind of stuffed animal or something.
I love it.
This one is my favorite, though. You can read this one.
Okay. See if it's small. Which one?
At the very bottom.
Very bottom. Okay. So I thought you'd appreciate my answer to this week's tot. I cuddle my hamster Cassiopeia, or Cassie. Again, awesome name. I have to say that. To de-stress. Hamsters tend to be easily startled, energetic, adventurous creatures, but I have trained my little one to be an emotional support animal. She loves to cuddle and take naps on my chest and actually screams when I'm too anxious or stressed to function to alert those around me that I need help. This is from Andromeda, Andy.
How cool is that? Wait, her name's Andromeda and her emotional
Her
support hamster is
Cassiopeia. Awesome names.
Wow. Look at this. LJ
Love
Massanoob says Moo is Ambien. That's her name for Ambien. The snooze. That's incredible. Did you guys see that? She's got an emotional support hamster.
That screams to let people know when she's not
Stressed
having a
out.
good day. Like,
Crazy.
That's awesome.
Crazy. All right, Reanna, how do you relax?
So I like to make a cup of tea, get a nice blanket, grab Jack, watch a show, or play some World of Warcraft with my guild. Love my guild.
I think that's right. I think that's it.
Yeah, what do you do?
Again, I play World of Warcraft, or as I aforementioned said, Zelda. And I like to play guitar or piano. You know, just playing my music. It helps me relax.
I know what else you like to do. You like to grab Jack and watch
Star Wars. Yep. He's my little Chewbacca. Yeah. Jack and I, he looks at me at that look in his eyes. He's like, come on, man. We got to go to that galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. And then you fall asleep.
You got this, buddy. Let's go.
You're so relaxed.
You're right. You're right. That's the way to go.
That's the only way to go.
Okay, guys. This week's tot. Get your notebooks out. We have one question. In the lieu of crazy library stuff, if you could... I'm sorry, not library stuff. Time machine stuff.
Time capsule stuff.
You know, I even wrote time machine in my notes.
Did you really?
I'm checking out this week. Time to watch Star Wars with Jack. If you could put one thing in a time capsule...
There you go.
For future generations, what would it be? I expect some good stuff out of you, LJ Massanoob, and you, Michael Kupak. I expect a lot. Guys, well, I think that's about as weird as it's going to get for this week.
Thank you so much for joining us, for your awesome comments, for being supportive. Like, anything going forward you guys want to email us or send to us, the information will be there. Our website is, now it's my turn. Our email address is WhatTheFetchWeekly@gmail.com.
And we got the post office box where you can send us any other weirdness, technology, fun stuff, artwork, whatever you want to send. We'll try to feature it on the show, guys. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, click that notification bell so you know when we make a video. And we're just going to say, what are we going to say, Reanna?
Guys, stay weird.
Stay ultra weird.